clapping's for editing purposes.
Go. Alright, so today's topic was something that I sort of thought about on the weekend. I caught up with a couple of friends and, you know, everyone's at a different stage in their life.
Yeah.
And then, what are you laughing at? And then, and it was all to do with, do you ever in life have it all, right? And I was like, yeah. My answer was, yeah, you can have it all. I'll expand on that later.
Yeah.
Someone said, no, I don't think so. And then also we spoke about it a little bit and we were like, maybe you can, but at different stages, not at the one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing then started this last weekend, continuing this week. I really started to think about that, like, fuck bro, can we really have it all? And what does that all look like? And what does it mean, okay? And I came to the conclusion that you can have it all, but that is a perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I also looked at something that came up today in regards to this topic. So they were interviewing someone about success and, you know, achievements and everything, and they looked at all the, like, the Justin Biebers and all that stuff. And, you know, if you really think about it, these guys pretty much had what we consider on a materialistic level, had it all.
Yeah.
Right? And then they were talking about then after that what happens, right? Because if you look at our life, there's phases, right? So you get to this level, and then there's another level, and that opens up, and then you reach that, and then it's like climbing a mountain, and it's like this exciting, like you reach a summit, and then it's like, fuck, there's another little peak that you can, you know, go. And, you know, we are so, like, taught not to value that and think that the ultimate peak is the level, but some people have reached a so-called materialistic ultimate level, and guess what happens though? You run out of peaks in their materialistic world, but your body, your nervous system, and your chemicals now want another peak. What do they normally end up doing, bro? Drugs, cheating.
Yeah, because they're looking for that different...
Next something.
Because it's like... exciting energy.
Yeah, because in relation to what society considers having it all, they've achieved it, right? And so now it's like, oh my God, now what do I do with this? Because there has to be something. There has to be some sort of growth, some sort of like, I want to expand that way. And I feel that, you know, because so much value is put onto materials, like they think, okay, the high has to come from an external source again.
Yeah.
So they will try the drugs, they'll try the 50 women, they will try the money, they will try the cars, the everything, like it's constant, right? And I feel like, hey, maybe we're at a really, really good space, like if you really look at it, right? Because we are on that path of like little mountains and, you know, achieving that, little mountain achieving that. Because I feel like that's sort of natural. It gives you a little bit of a feeling of wellness, like it gives you a hit of like, fuck, achievement. But it's not to the point where we can't handle it, and then the high has to be so high.
Yeah.
Right? Because what would you do? My question to you is, what would you do if I clicked my fingers and I gave you the feeling of, fuck, you've got all that materialistic success. Now what would you do? People don't consider that. Like, what would you do, Jules?
This is a great conversation because only yesterday I was talking with someone, and that someone bought a Casado ticket for the 40 million Powerball. And I think we live in a society as well that it's so common to put all of your energy onto, you know, winning the lotto in order to have this life that you see, you know, the celebrities or A-class celebrities and stuff like wealthy people have. But I think it comes down to as well, and I like how you said what happens after that type thing, do you know what I mean? And I see it like, it can be on many levels. Let's say, for example, Conor McGregor, UFC fighter, did a lot and manifested, used a lot of energy to become successful in the UFC to a certain point of what he saw himself to be, right? So climbing those mountains on an energy level compared to a materialistic level is two different things, I think.
Agreed.
So sometimes, and I think it comes back down to what you really want, because you see Conor McGregor did visualize. I believe he did visualize and manifest and put all his time and energy into being that champion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think he didn't really visualize and manifest past that to then understand once that success came and that wealth came.
Now what?
What actually happens to the vessel that brought you that to begin with, which was the fighting?
That's right.
Do you know
Not
what I mean?
just that. There was something that he wanted to reach, right?
To reach, yeah.
Right, so every
He
stage
needed
was
that
like closer
progression.
to that. Exactly though. What happens once you reach your perceived level of success? Like when you think, I've got it now, what happens?
And he didn't, once he started to lose, he didn't lose to people who were...
Amazing.
No, not necessarily that. He didn't lose to people that were already veterans and successful. He lost to up-and-comers. People who were fresh on the scene.
They had
hungry,
a peak. They had
a peak.
They hadn't reached the stomach
They
yet.
didn't reach the stomach energy level of what he had already achieved, right? He started a whiskey brand, clothing brand, whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think it's, yes, our peaks do change. 100% they change because there's proof in that. You know what I mean? That you do achieve a certain peak, and then if you don't keep following it on your true energy wavelength, you know what I mean? If you start changing what you think you want, it gets confusing for them.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
you know what? Especially look at like you're saying, Conor McGregor, right?
Yeah, I'll just use him because that's the best example.
I'm just going off that as well. I don't know the guy personally, but I'm just thinking, I'm trying to get into his mind and his way. Now imagine reaching what you consider was the ultimate, right? And you've got that person, and you've got a person who is like living day-to-day life, and him or her coming home, having a really smooth day, the kids are safe, secure in the bed, you know, they have a great community, they feel well established, grounded in their home. Maybe that's the peak for that person. Right? And you've got this person. So the next peak for this person will be maybe, okay, I want to, you know, maybe really get fit, and that's my next goal. And because everything else is established and settled, now my next peak is like, I want to get fit, look after my health, and take more interest in the food and blah, 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 right? So that's a peak. Now this guy who's got everything, his hit has to be higher than what he's got last time. Right? If you think about even people that have addictions, do they ever stay on that exact amount of hit? No, because even in addiction, when they do take drugs, and it could be an addiction to sex, right? It can be addiction to money. It can be an addiction to shopping. It can be an addiction to food. Does it ever stay stable? No, because every time you need it to upgrade, because your body actually gets used to that being base level. Yes?
Yeah, it does.
So think about that, right? We look at that, but understand, for him to feel higher than that, he has to fucking have a hit higher than that. How can you maintain that? And then there's this person who's slowly growing, and his hits are, or her hits, a little bit slower and a little bit more like stable. Maybe like, could be like, oh, I just want to be more grounded in my body. I want to meditate more, and the hits are different, right? It's more internal and stuff. Imagine getting to a place where your hit is actually to be very present and be okay and have no preference. Like that is your state. I feel like when I was saying that, I'll expand on this later, my way of saying you can have it all is to actually be in that state, which is I don't choose, or I don't have preference for this moment to be anything other than what it is, right? Because if you want this moment to change, you have that peak, right? You need something. So eventually we do peak until you can either keep peaking and peaking and peaking, and that's exhausting, or you come to a stage when you go, hold on, man, maybe having it all means exactly where I am as I am. Every day being grateful for that moment as it is. Maybe that is the peak. And that way, you do always have within the ability to have it all. Because, do you know what I'm trying to say? Does it make sense to you?
Yes. So what I'm seeing is like, there's obviously, let's say, peaks through spirituality. So really, I think it comes down to what peak, like,
Have
say
you
we got.
been eating this?
No, you just had all of them.
Right, stop.
No, I'm joking.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been eating them.
Okay.
So let's say we got two mountains,
Yeah.
right? Do you feel it's a thing where you got to either go your spiritual path to climb this mountain, or you have to go, you go the materialistic way?
Bro, I feel even spirituality, you can get into that trap. It's not about that being better and spirituality. No, that being wrong, spirituality be better. It's not that, because you can even go, oh my God, I want to be more spiritual, and it's like, it's the same driving force, right?
Yeah,
I want to meditate longer. I want to do this, and I want to only. No, I'm like, even that has its own trap, right? I'm more saying that maybe at every given moment we do have it all, but we are not aware and not seeing it, right? Because think about it, right? Like I said, when you are on that road of climbing, which is also needed, it's a part of us getting to who we are.
Yeah.
The way we're built chemically as well, right? With the dopamine hits and everything, right? Once you start that, you tell me something, man. Like, anytime you've achieved something, have you gone, that's it, I'm settled. There's no driving force now. No, right? Because now the next hit has to be a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
So when you started with a Ford, say you bought a Ford and, you know, it was
I love my Ford.
Yeah, I know you do, that's right. But when you first get on this path, right, you are so satisfied with this kind of house, and then as soon as you reach that, man, something within goes, oh, you need something bigger. Now you need a house with rooms that don't get used, because apparently that's the next step, right? And then you go to that. Do you stay there then?
See, I can relate to what you're saying now, because,
like, when are we ever satisfied, bro?
yeah, that's what I mean. So what has worked for me, right? What has worked for me is this. I wanted to get rid of my little Ford Focus. Right? For me, I got it as it's just a short-term thing. Yeah. I went from Mercedes to that. I went from Merc to a Ford Focus, right? I'm like, it's just a short-term thing. Then I'm going to buy this sick car, whatever I want. But I don't have the urge to buy another car. I love my Ford Focus, right? And then it went from wanting to live in a certain house or a certain way, what I envisioned, now it's changed.
We have
now, but do you understand what I mean? So now it's changed. But you're right, it's still a progression. It's still climbing that next hill, but the landscape of the hill looks different. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But
so there's always got to be growth.
But
I think it's different to getting a hit. Growth is different to getting a hit.
100%. If I had $20 million right now, would I be the person I am right this minute?
I reckon you would.
You reckon I would be?
Yeah.
I think it would be harder for me to have the transformation I'm going through.
Yeah, no, but you are already in the transformation, right? Yeah. Like, I look at me too. I have the ability to buy the Merc, right? And it's really funny because at one stage I thought I wanted a Merc.
I remember you, yeah.
Right? And then guess what's happened? I drove my dad's car, which was a 20-year-old Mitsubishi something.
The Magna, I remember.
Magna, yeah. It had no electrical windows.
Yeah.
The roof was caving in. And bro, you know what happened? It became my thing.
Yeah, but why? That's because I want to know that too. I
And
know
then
why.
what happened was, I was like, oh my God, I love this. I love this car. And I fell in love with it. And now what has happened is that my peaking has actually gone different now. So it's gone more away from obtaining more things and materialistic stuff. And you know what, man? It's been more about actually now. Do you know what my peaking is? Is to actually notice what I already have and be thankful. Dead set. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a friggin' expert in it, and I'm not walking around going, oh my God, I'm grateful, and I'm not having. But I do feel like I'm actually at a point in life where I'm like, wow, man, I'm losing the need to constantly upgrade. That's what it is, like fucking upgrade, and more in the moment. In the moment of like, I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. Like, oh my God, I am so grateful, and nothing shiny is attracting me anymore. It's more like I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the peaking has stopped, but the growth has been different. You know.
I know, and
I noticed that in you.
I do enjoy it, and I'm just really trying to work out. See, because this is the thing, I think people go to extreme, and I started going to extreme at some stage in my head.
Of what?
Of like, let's go back to how I said people want to win the lotto. It's not necessarily wrong.
No.
If the lotto came your way, you have to be grateful for it too.
Bro, you help so many people yourself.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be pushing away.
No.
Pushing away progression if
opportunity,
if it
energy
comes up,
exchange,
if it comes that way, you know
be
what I mean?
open, yeah.
But how important is needing to be satisfied and content with wherever life puts you at the time? I think that's the only way I could have changed my way of thinking, my energy,
100%.
and you know, reduce stress and anxieties and the stuff that, you know, was a hold on me every day, for example.
Yeah.
So I think it is it's crazy because you can get so lost.
Dude, you know,
you can get so lost.
100%. You know what I feel genuinely? Like, we're a culture that's been years and years and years into, like, you know, getting our kids to be motivated to become and climb and achieve and I really look at this, right? Like, now with access to everything, and you have social media, you have like pop-up businesses everywhere, everyone's got their own business, like it's different, right? You've got connectivity, like you want to order something, you can online it. The reach is just fucking ridiculous. Now think about it, like a 13-year-old that wants to get eyelashes done, there is no way at 13 I would have access to fake eyelashes that movie stars wore. Yes or no? At my 13, I'm 45. No. There was no internet.
No, back at
your
13. I think you meant some rich 13-year-old.
No, you don't. But you don't have to be rich anymore.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Okay. So what I'm saying is, think about, like, I look at in my own lifetime. When I was 13, I had limited access to things that I saw. Okay. So there was this thing of like, oh wow, yes, if you really want that, now you've got these steps in whatever, if you want it. Now you have a generation that have within a click of a button. You don't have to go to the shop, you fucking just get on your phone, you don't have to walk into it, you can do it in the toilet, right? And 2 days later it's at the door. Now tell me something, what is there gonna be their peak? And every time they get the yes, there it is at your door, they get a hit, right? Because now that 13-year-old can have the same eyelashes as Kim Kardashian, right? So, I want to know now the expectation and the setup for these kids now that have access to all that now, right? So they are going to want to peak again and another peak. What is going to be their peaking by the time they're 20?
And you know what? So I can't even fathom what it will be, because this is a junkie mentality.
It's exactly.
And
we think only drug takers are addictive people, right? This is an addiction, my friend.
It's
The
the same
peaking,
thing. Yeah,
right?
100%. They are just from what you were saying. Society is so much more connected to the outside and disconnected within. We have never been so much more disconnected to ourselves, but
That's
so
right.
connected to everything else, elements outside.
Yes.
You can speak to who you want.
Yeah, anytime.
Anyone in the other side of the world, you
Yes.
can buy what you want. Exactly what you're saying.
That's my whole point, though.
The appreciation for things disappear quickly.
So that's what I'm saying. So where does that end for like I came into this world later in my life. Kids are born into this now. You tell me the stimulation of peaking. What are they gonna do? How high will the hit need to be for them to feel like fuck? I think I've got it. If you're getting the same fucking handbag that Kim Kardashian gets at fucking 16 because your mum and dad
Dude, honestly,
can afford, what are you gonna do, bro?
I'm thinking about my kids at the age of fucking 20 and whatnot. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I can't even.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
I get what you're saying, and I'm buying a farm because of this reason.
And I'm
I'm
you know what I
I'm
do?
gonna make
But
sure.
I tell you, animals, bro.
Dude, that's
you know
what
what
I
they
was
have
gonna
to do? Pick up the fucking dog shit. And I'll tell you
That's
something.
it.
I've got 3 kids. You know my kids very well. And that is why I keep it very. You know what I do to my kids, man? I slow them down. It's the opposite. You know how you slow down? You look after animals. You have house stuff.
Yeah.
You do things together. You're out in nature. You garden. You pull out weeds together. You vacuum the house. You
100%.
do stuff that slows you down.
100%.
I think we're past the generation of keep fucking going, keep going. You're gonna exhaust them. You're gonna burn them out. The hits are gonna need to be fucking higher. I think it's time to
late teens to adults already, aren't they?
pull
Really.
it down. Yeah,
You gotta slow down.
slow it down.
I agree with you 1,000,000% over, and I talked to Jesse about this even yesterday, and I'm like, our decision making now has to come around when it comes to, you know, we're looking to buy our
House.
family home, right?
Yeah.
Our decision making needs to come around more than just us. It's about the kids. I never had interaction or compassion or love for any animal because I never grew up with any. So, do I think it's important? I said to her,
It is.
we both agree. She grew up around horses, and
Yeah.
stuff, so she's always had more love.
Yeah.
And I find that in her nature as a person.
Isn't that beautiful though?
She's always a more slower, calmer.
Yeah. Animals do that.
And 100%. So I think in this society that we're growing up, that the kids are growing up in now, it's more important, and we have to be
Slow
more
them
aware
down.
than ever to slow them down.
Yeah.
Get them out to be one with.
Just remember, it's the nature of the human development to grow, right? But you don't want them peaking. You don't want them peaking next peak, next hit, because that's going to burn them out. It's going to burn the system out. And so many people are so fucking anxious now because they think they've got to reach a certain level, and they've reached that, and it's the next one. That's fucking hard.
They're breaking. They're putting themselves, not even just that. Let's say in an economic world as well. They're in that much debt these days, which then
young kids, bro.
Yeah, and what happens when you have financial hardship in this type of world? You're going to get emotional and get depressed, right? So
it's a lot of heaviness to carry.
It's a lot of heaviness to carry, but I think it starts at how we're talking about their peaks and their fix. But they want to get their next hit. You know, if their next hit is riding the next surf beach, going run the next wave, compared to going to buy the new
next
car,
bag,
the new
next
Yeezy shoes.
the new
I think life. You know what you'll find is that if you say you want to catch the wave, the surfer, whatever, and that's your hit, that's a hit that you know is always going to be around for you. What if economics fucking crumble?
That's what I'm saying.
And you
Like
can't
nature
afford
offers
those
a
shoes,
lot for free, you know.
Nature offers a lot for free.
And I feel that's what I was saying, right? That I think it's time to actually. Don't forget, this today was 5 years ago. You're fucking what you wanted. Are you happy? Are you grateful? Are you at a place where I go, let me enjoy this for a moment, bro? Because 5 years ago I didn't have this.
Yeah.
Right? Are you ever, or are you always for the next one? And that's a junkie, like you say. And junkie, we're not saying disrespect. I'm talking about
we're talking about the patterning, the
It
mentality
and
behind that.
yeah, so people can look down at people that
And someone's
do
been a
drugs
junkie in something.
Yeah,
We don't mean,
I've been eating.
junkie.
Like,
Yeah, we
no,
don't
no,
mean drugs. No.
no.
Someone's been a junkie in something. At some stage.
100%.
You know, it's about the personality towards what you're doing. That's
yeah. So I feel that, you know, definitely slow down, guys. Definitely start to maybe enjoy the landscape where you are. Take a view. When you get to the peak, fucking look around. What are you seeing? Where are you at? You know, start to be appreciative of what you have already. Value that stuff, because I think value of things and people are losing too, because it's I had a girlfriend that could do this, next girlfriend I'm gonna fuck, even that, like friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, you're gonna constantly peak with them, and it's unrealistic expectations, bro. It's unrealistic.
It's a very unhealthy way of thinking.
You know, so value is also going, because you've got so many at hand, and it's like maybe to slow down.
Slow down, appreciate even a smile that someone gives you.
Yeah.
Be aware of that.
Mate, coffee
you know
cup,
what I mean?
bro. Just, you know, a coffee cup. Don't have to get 50. Just fucking use your coffee cup.
100%. You're right.
How many people have 500 coffee cups, bro?
Mate, how many people sit at cafes? We're in a culture where we're coffee snobs in Melbourne, right? We've got the best fucking coffee in the world. Yeah. But we're still lacking, I think, the appreciation of just sitting there in the moment
And having
having a conversation with someone,
seeing
the person next to you that you don't know, smiling or whatnot, and just really seeing the love that's there constantly.
What you have, man.
The love doesn't run away.
No,
it's
doesn't.
always there. You just got to open up to it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yep.
You got to open up to it.
100%. It was a great topic.
I really do. I like that topic.
Yeah, I was surprised.
It was a surprise topic.
That was a good topic, mate. It was good, I told you.
It was very good, yeah.
Alright, you can end it off since I got the topic that you
Cool.
liked.
Hope you guys enjoyed that episode and hope it resonates with a lot of you out there. Subscribe. Subscribe and share and help us.
Come on, guys, you can do it, bro.
Yeah, help us. What? Just help us. Just help
Share
us.
it, bro, share it.
Just share us. Help us spread the word,
Spread
because
the love.
all we're doing is hoping that it can help one person at a time, or even spark something that can help someone who needs some sort of assistance. You don't know what everyone's going through.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we're not here to help, what are we here for?
Sweet, man.
True.
Cool. See ya.
Bye bye.